Week 4 of the Ohio high school football season is in the books. At this time, we present top performers for your consideration to become First Star Logistics Offensive and Defensive Players of the Week. Remember, the player with the highest overall vote total will be named First Star Logistics Player of the Week. We want to thank First Star Logistics for their continued support of First Star Football Report. If you're looking for a new career, be sure to visit firststarlogistics.com as they are looking to hire new team members. Before we get started, do us a favor. Hit the subscribe button to help us continue to grow our YouTube channel. Also, be sure to visit firststarfootballreport.com to cast your vote for both Offensive and Defensive Players of the Week. Hello everybody, Dave Burke, founder of First Star Football Report. We have a long list of players on both sides of the ball for their outstanding performances in Week 4 of the 2020 season in Southwest Ohio. We're going to start on offense as the following players played major roles for their teams this past weekend. Jackson Gifford, Ross High School. The senior fullback ran wild with 210 yards on 19 carries and 5 touchdowns in a 49-35 win over Harrison. Jackson Kuhn, Anderson High School. The senior quarterback went 26 of 34 for 295 yards and 2 touchdowns, while also rushing for 52 yards and 3 touchdowns in a dominating 42-0 win over West Claremont. Ty Skalinski, Kings High School. The senior running back has made it a regular occurrence for the week's Offensive Player of the Week. Against Lebanon, Stalinski continues to come up big with 29 rushing attempts for 217 yards and 6 touchdowns and a 41-20 win. Aiden Jones, Little Miami High School. The junior quarterback passed for 328 yards and 5 touchdowns with no interceptions in a 55-20 win over Loveland. The win was the first of the season for the Panthers. Tyreek Spikes, Winton Woods High School. The junior running back had another big performance with 175 yards on only 6 carries and 3 touchdowns. For good measure, Spikes also added a 90-yard kickoff return for a touchdown in a 49-14 win over Milford. Rod Moore, Northmont High School. The future Michigan Wolverine defensive back did double duty in the Thunderbolts' come-from-behind overtime win over Springfield. First Star Football Report was in attendance for this game and came away very impressed as Moore was called upon to play both ways with the team's second leading receiver out with an injury. Moore posted 11 catches for 150 yards and 3 touchdowns in the 38-35 win. Ben Hamilton, Elder High School. The junior quarterback continues to impress with his strong play. In a 35-22 win over Moeller, Hamilton was 23 of 27 for 282 yards and 4 touchdowns. Keyshawn Stevens, Hamilton High School. Stevens enjoyed his biggest game of the season with 23 carries for 194 yards and 2 touchdowns in a 41-13 win over Oak Hills. Jake Ambergy, Waynesville High School. The senior quarterback was 7 of 10 for 215 yards and 3 touchdowns, while also adding 52 yards rushing and a score in a 48-14 win over Dixie. C.J. Hester, Wyoming. We could have listed the sophomore both as an offensive and defensive consideration this week because he did double duty. 200 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns, but he also added 11 total tackles on defense in the Cowboys' 35-7 win over Deer Park. Luke Lytle, New Richmond High School. The senior quarterback beat Wilmington with his arm and legs, going 16 of 30 for 218 yards and 3 touchdowns, while adding 137 rushing yards and 2 scores in a 35-14 win. Brandon McDonald, Alter High School. The senior running back had his biggest game of the season with 14 carries for 279 yards and 4 touchdowns in a 48-0 win over Carroll. There you have the offensive players up for consideration for your vote. Stay tuned after this message from First Star Logistics for the defensive players.
Dave Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realize self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team.
Again, we want to thank First Star Logistics for their support of First Star Football Report. We move to defense. A lot of great performances. We're going to start. Casey Riedemeyer, Ross High School. The senior defensive back had his biggest game of the season with 7 total tackles, 5 solos, and 2 interceptions in a 49-35 win over Harrison. Jaden Hurd, Wayne High School. The senior safety posted 7 total tackles, 5 solos, and an 80-yard interception returned for a touchdown in a 70-8 win over Beaver Creek. Dante Corleone, Colerain High School. The senior defensive lineman and Cincinnati Bearcats pledge posted 7 total tackles and 2 sacks in a 42-6 win over Middletown. Cameron Ashurst, Mason High School. The senior linebacker posted 10 total tackles, 9 solos, and forced a fumble in the Comets' 21-13 win over Sycamore. Dylan Lee, Hamilton High School. The senior defensive back posted 11 total tackles and a fumble recovery in a 41-13 win over Oak Hills. Josh Harris, Princeton High School. The senior linebacker was a workhorse in a 28-19 loss to Lakota East with 19 total tackles, 14 of them solo stops. Cade Everhart, Tippecanoe High School. The junior linebacker posted 14 total tackles, 10 solos, in a 30-26 win over Troy. Chris Guest, Wyoming High School. The senior linebacker posted 15 total tackles, 11 solos, in a 35-7 win over Deer Park as the Cowboys moved to 4-0. Nori Johnson, Deer Park High School. The junior two-way player posted 17 total tackles, 7 solos, in a 35-7 loss to Wyoming. Johnson also rushed for 49 yards, had 2 receptions for 23 yards, and a kickoff return. David Dorston, Marymount High School. The sophomore linebacker posted 11 total tackles in a 45-23 win over Finneytown. Dorston also did duties on special teams with 3 kickoff returns for 67 yards and took his first reps of the season at quarterback, going 3 of 4 for 36 yards. Nehemiah Lowry, Hughes High School. The junior defensive end posted 8 tackles, all solo stops, and 3 sacks in a 20-7 win over Western Hills. The Big Red and Cincinnati Public Schools got back on the field for the first time this season, and we're happy for all of them. Darrell Lewis, Piqua High School. The senior defensive lineman posted 9 total tackles, 8 solos, and forced a fumble in a 27-0 win over Stebbins. Lewis also had a reception on offense that he took to the house for a 35-yard touchdown for good measure. There you have it, all the players we put forward for your consideration to be voted on for First Star Logistics Offensive and Defensive Players of the Week. The player with the most votes will be named the First Star Logistics Player of the Week. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and also check out firststarfootballreport.com to place your vote for both offensive and defensive players for Week 4 of the 2020 season.